Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. In today's video, we are going to be doing some speed reviews on, I think, about 27 products. So we have a lot here. This is kind of going to be like a cumulative haul slash speed reviews sort of thing, because these are all the products that I have added into my collection since about July, and I haven't really talked to you guys much about any of them, so I just wanted to go ahead and kind of put them all in a video together and tell you guys how I'm feeling about them. So let's just go ahead and jump into it because we have a lot to talk about. First things first, I did want to talk about my new background. What do you guys think? I did invest in some lighting. I'm hoping that that will make a pretty good difference for you guys as far as just the quality of my content goes, and also just, I feel like it's just like a nice kind of like cozy little area to film in versus the rest of the room that just didn't really like match what I was trying to go for with my channel. So let me know down below what you guys think about the new setup. Personally, I'm really excited about it, and I hope that you guys are too. The first products I want to run through are some eyeshadow palettes. So the first one's going to be this one from Natasha Denona. This is the Iona palette. So this palette is honestly really effortless. Like, you can use any shade in this with anything else, and it's going to look great no matter what. Like, you can't really go wrong. There's only 5 shades. It's really good quality too, and the packaging is pretty nice. The only downside that I have to this is that I think it's just a bunch of repeat shades, which there's nothing wrong with that. However, I do own the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and I think that the 2 shades, this one here and then this darker brown as well, were in that palette. So I already own 2 out of the 5 of this, but it's really not the end of the world. It's still a really good neutral palette, especially just to reach for this one on its own, and I think it's really nice. Next up, let's talk about the I Heart Revolution Mini Avocado palette. First of all, this palette is just so cute, and I think the metallics in here are really just what steals the show for this. The mattes are pretty good. They're just like kind of standard mattes though, and I don't know, but they're, you know, like they're okay. But the metallics, or like the foiled shades in this, are just what make this palette so good. I did try and kind of like critique each of these things so I could kind of really give you my full around thoughts, but the only thing I have to say about this that's not like completely positive is that the pans themselves are really shallow, and there's probably just not like a ton of product in there, but for me it's not a problem because I would probably never use up any of these shades just because they're not like my everyday shades, and I just kind of wanted it to just like play around with it, have some fun with some green eyeshadow. But if that is something that you would wear every day, it could be a downside because even though it's affordable, you know, you're really gonna run through it pretty quick, I think, but it is so cute and I really like this palette. Next up is this palette from Ciate London. I've got a little beef with this palette right now because I actually filmed this video yesterday, and when I was trying to open this palette, I got a lipstick all over my teeth, and it was this lipstick, so it was like pretty dark on my teeth. And yeah, it was kind of driving me nuts. And so if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would already know that because I did post about it in my story. But what happened, I went back and watched it, like when I got the lipstick on my teeth. I was trying to open this and I got frustrated, and I was trying to open it. So I kind of like, you know, was like really focusing in, and I got lipstick on my teeth. So to save myself from that, this packaging's really hard to open. Like, that's the downside here. And it might seem a little weird, but like, I don't want to break a nail opening up an eyeshadow palette. So I've just been like sticking my pin in it and like pushing it open. But aside from that, like, that's literally the only thing, because the packaging is really pretty, but it's not the most functional. But aside from that, this is just so pretty. I've been wanting a really warm toned eyeshadow palette, and this is just stunning. I did break a shade in there, so that was my own fault. I was a little bit too rough with it when traveling, but they're so pretty. Like, honestly, the matte shades in here though are a little bit more like satiny, but not the satin where they have like the loose little pieces of glitter like Colourpop does. And honestly, I just think this is a really pretty palette. It's a really nice warm tone palette. The foiled shades in here are really pretty, and the only downside is that it is difficult to open, and that can get a little bit frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. A palette or a company that I actually have some beef with right now is Colourpop. So this is the Child palette from Colourpop, and I really like this color story, like, honestly. But you'll notice that one of the shades is like basically completely missing. There's like, I don't know, maybe 5% of the shade left in there. But as much as I love the color story, I'm a little bit mad at Colourpop, truthfully. Like, stuff like this doesn't even surprise me with Colourpop because of how much they frustrate me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like their releases lately have been really lackluster, and when I got the It's My Pleasure palette, the plastic had kind of like melted with the mirror. And I don't know. I feel like too, like their formulas seem like they're kind of drying out quickly when you buy them in the eyeshadow palettes. Their packaging sometimes is not good. Like I know it's affordable, but like don't make it cheap. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's just kind of what I've been thinking about Colourpop lately. So I think we're gonna need to take a break. But yeah, I mean, that is a really good palette and I would suggest it, but I'm just like not the biggest fan of Colourpop right now. I'm like a little nervous and like keep checking my teeth for that lipstick, so hopefully we don't have any more of that going on. But let's go ahead and talk about the next palette, which is this one from Lime Crime. This is their Venus 3 palette. So this one and the Natasha Denona Iona palette that I talked about first, I got in a giveaway together. This palette is really pretty. I think that it's really subtle, honestly. Like all of the shades in here are pretty subtle. Like even the bright purple here is just not like super bright, which that's fine. I think it's a really pretty palette. It is quite bulky, but it's very pretty packaging. It's just bulky. But I think this palette is pretty good. It's nothing like super crazy. The formula is not extremely unique or anything like that, but it's really pretty. It gives you a nice wearable look in my opinion, and I think it's a good palette. My newest palette, however, is this one from Huda Beauty. This is her new nude palette. You guys, I love this palette. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and I just think that it is so pretty. Obviously, it's not new, but it is new to me, so I just love it so much. Okay, let's get the one bad thing out of the way. Bad, just not my favorite. I don't really understand. It's this shade right here. This is called Concealed, and it is a concealer shade. There's only one. And not everyone's skin color looks like this. I would assume that people want a kind of like concealer shade for their eyeshadow, if they want a concealer shade, to be a little bit closer to their skin tone, and this just doesn't cut it, honestly. Like it's too dark for me, and I don't think I'll probably use it very much because it's just too dark for me. But this is so light in this like spectrum of skin tones and the range. I just personally, I would have rather seen like almost a like silvery pink metallic shade, like even lighter than the two of these here, just to give you like a nice like really bright inner corner highlight or something, or even a very like a little bit deeper brown or cranberry color. That's like the one thing. That's the one thing I have to say about this palette that I'm not in love with. But other than that, I really like this palette, you guys. And I feel like that's just one shade. I feel like, you know, cohesively the palette is really pretty and I really do like it and I'm so excited about it. But that's just like the one thing. I don't really understand the shade. But I do feel like the undertones in this palette are really pretty, especially amongst this half of the palette, but also the two of these shades here, just kind of like the more neutrally shades. I just feel like they have really good undertones and it's a really unique nude palette. I'm definitely leaning more towards like pink nudes in my personal preference, so maybe that's why I like it so much. Next up, let's talk about two palettes together. These are from Nomad Cosmetics. I've got the America's Parks palette and then the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. You guys, Nomad is like a newfound love of mine. I really like that brand. So let's just go ahead and talk about the America's Parks palette first. This is like your muted rainbow. I think it's really like screams fall, honestly, because there are a lot of like tones of leaves here and I really like that. I did a nice fall look with this that I really liked how it came out. I'll put a picture of that look here actually. It's over on my Instagram, which shameless plug will be linked down below. But yeah, I really like this palette for that, so I'm excited to use it more for like fall tone looks, and I'm really glad I have it in my collection. The packaging is also super nice and it's just a really nostalgic palette for me, and her formula is really great. And the Fire and Ice palette, this one's a little bit more confusing, I'll be honest. Like sometimes I get a little bit lost with this color story just because it is like so unique and there are so many different ways you could go with this palette, but it's still really pretty. This one reminds me more of winter, just taking out kind of like the middle row here, and I feel like I will use this a ton in the winter time. But yeah, both of these palettes are really pretty and I would definitely suggest their palettes in general. The little, what is it called? Their Tokyo palette is really pretty too. The pastel one, I really like that one, but I already have my perfect pastel palette, so like I know I don't need another one because I don't wear those every day, but it's still really pretty. Those are the last eyeshadow palettes, but I do have another eye product. So this is the e.l.f. little glitter single shadow, in the shade Pinky Swear. It's just like a single shadow of like a glitter topper sort of thing. It's really pretty. I bought this because the one of the employees at Ulta when I was checking out one day was wearing this, and specifically she had on glasses, and these just like really emphasized her eyes. I feel like this is a really good product for those of you that do wear glasses, because if you just wear this like on its own, it just adds like a little bit of something, but especially when you have glasses on, I don't know why, it just like really emphasizes your eyes, and I think it's really pretty. But it does take up the shadow underneath it if you don't use it on its own, in my opinion. And that's not my favorite thing ever, but it is really pretty for like just a simple wash of color, and definitely like 100% cheaper than the Stila glitter stuff. So I think it's like under $5 and it's pretty good. A product, however, that I don't really like, and I don't even want to talk about it that much, honestly, is this one from Marc Jacobs. This is their gel eye crayon in the shade Brownie. Really pretty formula, really pretty shade. My issue here is sharpening it. My sharpener destroyed it, and my sharpener never does that to any product. So it has like a little sharpener on the end, but all that does is like actually twist and sharpen this part. So unless I'm doing something wrong here, the component just doesn't sharpen well, and it's just kind of messy now and doesn't really do any good. So I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. However, a liner that I'd really like that I just recently tried is this one from LA Girl. This is their gel eyeliner. This is in the shade Jet Black. This is a very creamy black eyeliner. It's obviously in a pot, and it doesn't smudge easily, so I'm a fan of this. I think it's pretty good. It definitely has a learning curve if you've never used a potted liner before, but I like it. Next up, we've got a mascara. This is the Big Mood Mascara from e.l.f. I have it on my lashes today, but I have had this makeup on all day, so don't judge that too closely. I haven't tried the Bite mascara, but I feel like this would be a dupe for it. If anything, the wand is massive. I really like the way it looks on my lashes, but number one, the wand is massive, and number two, it doesn't smudge, but it is like 100% not waterproof. Whenever you wash your face, it just gets like all over your face, and it's just really hard to get off without using a washcloth or like some sort of like towel to get your makeup off, because if you just use a cleanser in your hands to just like wash your face, typically it just like doesn't work. Like you have to use a towel to get it off, and that's just a little bit too high maintenance for me. I also can't use this on my bottom lashes because the wand is too big. So it does give a good effect, but it is a little bit more of a high maintenance mascara than I usually like. It is also best after being opened for about 2 weeks, I think 2 to 3 weeks probably, but it's definitely better after 2 to 3 weeks than it was in the first week or two. A product from Colourpop that I do really like, I think it's a pretty good product, is their brow wax. So this is just the one in clear. It's just a pretty standard wax, but it is pretty good. I like the way that it makes my brows look, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good product. It also doesn't have any scent to it, which I know the Revolution one smelled really strong, so I can definitely appreciate that. Next up is the Hydro Flex foundation from Tarte. I have the little mini in the shade 12N. This is okay, but honestly I like the Flower Beauty serum foundation a lot better, and it's a lot cheaper. I think these were like the same price, but this is a tiny little baby size, and that one is a full size from Flower Beauty for I think both like $12 or $13. It's okay. That's pretty much all I have to say about it, honestly. Like, I don't know. It's not, I wouldn't buy it again. I'm glad I just got the mini. A foundation, however, that I love is this one from Thrive. This is the Buildable Blur CC Cream. I have this in the shade Fair Light. This is a repurchase for me. I love it. This is such a good foundation. It's just like the packaging is amazing. Honestly, this kind of is similar to the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation, but in my opinion, it's a little bit better. The packaging is a million times better. I don't like the packaging, or the lid specifically, on the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation or the primer for that matter. But this is just really nice packaging. It's very luxe. It's got a pump here, kind of like the It Cosmetics one. It's got SPF 35 in it, and it's just like my holy grail. It's a really good foundation. This concealer from Milani is pretty good. It's got like medium to full coverage, I would say, and I do have a little bit drier skin. I don't feel like it's super dry. The packaging is nice. It's a good price. I've got this in the shade 110, but honestly, it's not like my favorite palette ever. I don't feel like I would repurchase it if I finished it up, but I also don't feel the need to like declutter it or anything like that. Next up, we have a cream bronzer. This is the one from Soul Body. This is in the shade Light. It's just their cream bronzer. It's very warm toned, like very warm toned. And it smells so strong. Now, it smells good. It smells like kind of like beachy, like coconut, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little too warm and it smells really strong. But I love the packaging of it. I think it's a good size. And it is a good formula, but maybe I just needed a little bit more of like a cool tone bronzer, but it is nice like every now and then. Cream product that I don't really like that much though is this one from e.l.f. This is the Putty Bronzer. I got the two lightest shades. This is like the contoury shade. I actually already decluttered the other one, the one that was the like more warm tone lighter shade. Y'all, this is so small, like to compare these two. I really like the packaging of this, but I like the color of this one better. But the packaging is so small, it's really hard to get a sponge or a brush into this for me, and it's also just feels like really cheap packaging. Like, you know how on Amazon you can order those like packs of clear containers, and it's like that. And I don't know, I know it's affordable, but again, don't make it cheap. You don't have to make it cheap, like just make it affordable. So I don't know, it's not my favorite. The formula also kind of like fades on my skin pretty quickly. I could definitely do without this. A very pigmented cream product is this one from Wonder Beauty. This is their Double Date Lip and Cheek, and it's really pretty. However, this is pretty deep for me as a blush, and I don't love it as a lip product, but it is a really nice formula for a blush. It's just really deep and bright for me. And then this one is like a kind of a clear, balmy sort of thing. I think this would be perfect for someone who has like a medium to deep skin tone, but maybe not like dark deep skin tone. Like, I don't think this is quite dark enough, but it's really bright. So I think if you have a deep skin tone that it would work for you. But the clear, obviously, I think would work for anyone. Like, it's actually clear. It's not like it's like a pale color or anything. Like, it's clear. So it's a really nice balm either for your cheek if you're into that, or just a lip balm. Yeah, I think it's a really nice product. I actually really like the packaging of this one. Even though it is plastic, it feels a little bit heavier and just a little bit more sturdy than some other plastic packaging. Another product from Thrive Cosmetics that I really love is this blush. This is in the shade Rosy. I think they have this one and also a deeper, more like corally shade, but this is the one that I have. It is so pretty. I really love this blush. I think that it's an amazing packaging. The color's pretty. The formula is great. It lasts all day. It is a little bit pigmented, so use a light hand, but I think this is so nice. I love her packaging. I used to actually have the bronzer, but it was too deep, even the lightest shade. I just couldn't use it. It was just a lot on my skin, but I'm so glad that I have this, and I just think it's really pretty. I also have this blush palette from BH Cosmetics. This is the Vanilla Strawberry Truffle 4-color blush palette. Oh my goodness, I think this is so cute. I really think this is so cute. I saw so many pictures of little blush palettes like this from BH on Instagram, but I thought that the palettes were a lot bigger than this. But when I saw it in person is when I actually decided to get it, because it's really not that much bigger than just a one single sort of blush. And I like that because I will never go through 4 almost full-size blushes, you know what I mean, in like a giant palette. So this is just nice and compact, and I really like it. The formula is pretty good. It lasts well. It's got 2 matte shades and then 2 more like shimmery shades. It's just really pretty. Like, I like it a lot. It also smells really good, like a sweet sort of smell, but not like super overbearing. This next product is super overpriced. Like, so overpriced. I think this is like $58. I looked at TJ Maxx for so long for this palette. This is the Anastasia Italian Summer Face Palette. It has a bronzer, blush, and a highlight, and I love this palette, you guys. I know it's so expensive, but I used my like $10 off at Ulta, and then my husband got it for me for my birthday. But I've heard a lot of people talk about the packaging not being nice, but it's not like that like really rough, glittery, you know, like the cheap glittery packaging. It doesn't feel like that. Like, it just feels like a nice package, and I actually really like it. I think that this is really nice how it will bend back. It's not super stiff or anything like that. I like it. But what matters is what's on the inside the most. And I really like all of these. So I have a hard time sometimes finding face palettes that the shades are all light enough for me, and this one definitely does that. The one thing I can say is that this blush shade is like slightly boring, like it's like just a basic blush shade, but I really love the bronzer and the highlight, and I do like the blush too. So I am really glad that I own this. I think it's a really great product. It's extremely overpriced and I wish it was like half the price, but I still really like it. We're almost to the end, you guys. We've got one more face palette and then some lip products, but this is the Marc Jacobs face palette. This is in the shade 200 Tantastic Glow. I love the packaging of this one. However, the highlight is way too deep for me. Like the bronzer and the blush are really, really light, but then the highlight is just so deep compared to those, and it just leaves a shadow on my face. I can't really use that. The blush is also pretty basic, so that leaves me with the bronzer. So I don't know. I'm a little bit let down by this. However, it's so pretty and it's not a bad palette. It's just, I probably could have saved my money on this one. Next up, we've got some lip products. So this is the lipstick from Sophia and Maybelle. This is in the shade Topless, and it is just a matte nude, light nude lipstick. And I like it. It's pretty mattifying, so it can be slightly drying, so you have to exfoliate your lips and maybe just use this on like the center of the lips because it is such a light color. But I really like the packaging. I know some people don't like plastic packaging, but I really like it. Yeah, I also got this in that giveaway. I don't know if I would have purchased it on my own just because it is such a light brown and those usually don't suit me very well, but it is nice to have in my collection just to use kind of with some other lip products. Next up is one that I saved the packaging to. This is the Kaja Little Shots Mini Gloss Shot Duo. This is the cutest packaging I think I've seen on anything makeup related in a really long time. So like you saw, you open like the flap here, and then it's got the little lip glosses here that you pull out, and then it even has like a little sticker set in the back. Am I a kid or what? Because I think this is so cute. Stickers aside, these glosses are really good. I've already used quite a bit from both of them, and I just got them. So Emily from Emily's Makeup Bag talked about these. She wore them in her most recent 1 week 1 palette video. I will have that link down below for you guys, but she had one of these on, you know, in different days. And both times when she came back with her makeup done, I was like, what's on her lips? Like, what is that? And it was these. I totally picked these up right after finishing her video. So thank you, Emily, for talking about these, mentioning them on your channel because I love them. This set is only $15 too. For a high-end brand, I think that's pretty good. Like, these are pretty decently sized mini glosses in my opinion. I love the packaging. They're so nice. They're not sticky at all. They're, especially the lighter one is pretty sheer, but they're just really nice glosses. Like, I think they're my favorite gloss. I would venture to say that I like those better than the Fenty glosses. Just being honest. Like, I like the Fenty glosses a lot, but I like those more. We just got 2 more products. Next up is this one. This is the lip product that I'm wearing today that I had all over my teeth when I filmed this video yesterday. But this is the Bite Lip Crayon in the shade Glacé. I love this, you guys. This is just so nice. You can see how it looks on the lips. It's not matte. It's like a satin finish, I suppose, but it's just really creamy. It smells nice. It's good packaging. I really like Bite's packaging, honestly, on like all of their products. So that's just super nice, honestly. Sometimes I feel like it's hard to find a brand where they have a lot of consistency, whether it be in the formula or the packaging, and I haven't tried a lot from Bite, but as far as like their packaging goes, it's all very cohesive, and I always really like how they package all their products, except for that most recent blush. Now that I'm saying that, that's kind of controversial. It's not the best packaging, but aside from the liquid blush, you know the one I'm talking about? I'll put a picture here, but aside from that one, I feel like their packaging is always pretty good. Last product is another one that Emily made me buy. I bought this right after I watched her video talking about nude lips too. This is the NYX This Is Milky gloss in the shade Cookies and Milk. This smells like Fruit Loops. I cannot stop thinking that. Like, anytime I open it, it just smells like a bowl of Fruit Loops. If you have this and it smells like Fruit Loops, let me know down below, seriously. Aside from the way that it smells though, it's a really pretty gloss. The one thing that I noticed when I wore it, now I just got this, I've only worn it twice. And I did notice when I had it on one of those days that I kind of like taste it. You know how like sometimes it's inevitable. You put stuff on your lips, you're gonna end up like eating some of it on accident. It had like a weird taste and it kind of like lingered, you know? It kind of lingered. So that's like the only thing. But honestly, just don't eat your lip gloss. Maybe I just put too much on. I don't know. But anyways, it's a really pretty color and the formula is really nice as well. So I definitely would suggest that gloss too, specifically for the color. Kind of like Emily was saying, I can see what she means. It's not a sticky gloss, like it's a good formula, but it's really the color that is so unique because I haven't found a really cool toned gloss like that I liked that much and that looked like flattering actually on your lips. Alright you guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. We just went over 27 items and some speed reviews here, so hopefully this video isn't too long and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I wanted to make a note at the end of this video. I think I mentioned in my last video that I posted about, it was like a shop my stash, get ready with me, but I mentioned that sometimes like I don't feel okay and sometimes I'm kind of having a bad day or whatever. And the last few months have just been really crazy in my life. And I just wanted to tell you that if you're watching this video and you're not having a good day, you're not having a good week or month, it is going to be okay. You're going to get through it. And if you need to talk to someone and you just maybe need to vent about something or just for someone to just tell you that it's going to be okay. I am not a professional anyway, and I cannot give you like actual advice, but if you just need a friend, just message me on Instagram. Seriously, like I just wanted to tell you guys that because sometimes you just need it. Like sometimes you just need a friend to just be like, hey, this is what's going on. Can you just tell me it's going to be okay? You know? So if I could be that person for you, just let me know. My Instagram will be down below. Feel free to send me a DM. I just felt the need to say that today. So yeah, I hope that you guys are having a good day wherever you're at. But again, if you're not, it will be okay. We all have bad days, but the important thing is that we look forward to tomorrow. So with that being said, you guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm so excited to be making more videos for you guys. I really enjoy doing this. This is like my favorite outlet ever, and I'm just so glad that this is like a thing. Like, who would have known this would have been a thing? But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.